The Denver Nuggets season was hanging by a thread. Down 2-1 in the series on the road, battered, exhausted, and facing a red-hot Clippers team, everything pointed toward disaster. And for most of the night, it felt like disaster was inevitable. But somehow, with everything collapsing around them, they survived. And the way it happened, it didn't even feel real. It came down to Aaron Gordon, not Jokic, not Murray, not any of the names you would expect. Aaron Gordon in one of the weirdest buzzer beaters you'll ever see. Jokic threw up an absolutely brutal shot with the game on the line, a shot that had no business going in, a shot that looked like the final brick on the Nuggets' grave. But somehow, the ball bounced, the defense hesitated, and there was Aaron Gordon. In the chaos of the final second, he grabbed it, flung it upward, and barely, released it before the clock expired. When they went to the replay, it felt like an eternity. The slow-motion angle looked like the ball might still be touching his fingertips. From one angle, you could convince yourself it was late. From another, you could swear it was just early enough. The officials gave it to him. The Nuggets' season, by the slimmest margin imaginable, was still alive. But to understand how crazy this moment was, you have to understand everything that led up to it. Going into this game, the vibes around Denver were as bad as they've been all year. Every report painted the same picture. Injuries piling up, frustration boiling over, doubt creeping in. Jokic was playing through something. Jamal Murray had been dealing with multiple issues. Michael Porter Jr. had a massive wrap around his shoulder. Russell Westbrook was out entirely. And this wasn't some regular season Tuesday in January. This was a playoff war against one of the best home teams in the league. Everything said the Nuggets would fold. Nobody would have blamed them, but somehow they didn't. Instead, they came out swinging. Literally. Early in the game, tensions exploded between Aaron Gordon and James Harden. For a second, it looked like fists might fly. Players separated them just in time, and somehow neither got ejected. Looking back, it's almost funny, because if Gordon had been tossed, Denver wouldn't have had a chance to win the game at the buzzer. That scuffle set the tone for the whole night. This wasn't a team rolling over, this was a team fighting for survival. Jokic once again was phenomenal, not perfect. He missed some free throws late, and that last shot was rough. But for the majority of the game, he was everything Denver needed. The Clippers' plan was clear: wear Jokic down. Not stop him, you can't really stop Nikola Jokic, but exhaust him. Zubac played him as well as anyone could. Big body, smart positioning, constant pressure. The Clippers didn't try to blitz Jokic or double him constantly. They trusted Zubac to make him work, to drag him through every possession. And it worked at times. Still, Jokic found ways to control the game. He scored, he passed, he anchored the defense. He was the engine, even as the miles on that engine started to show. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray had one of his worst games of the postseason. Outside of a couple of clutch buckets late, he was a non-factor. Slow, tentative, out of rhythm. Maybe it was the injuries, maybe it was fatigue, maybe it was the pressure. Whatever the reason, Denver needed someone else to step up. And somehow it was Christian Braun, the rookie. The kid who looked more confident than half the veterans on the floor. Braun hit big shots. He made smart cuts. He defended like his life depended on it. For large stretches of the night, he looked like Denver's second-best player behind Jokic. But even with all of that, Denver was barely hanging on. They built a 22-point lead at one point, playing some of their best basketball of the season. Their defense was locked in. Their offense, while shaky at times, was doing enough. The Clippers couldn't hit a shot, and the Nuggets smelled blood. And then it all started slipping away. The reason? Simple. They ran out of gas. Denver's starters played massive minutes. Their bench, already thin, was basically non-existent without Westbrook. Every possession got heavier. Every missed shot gave the Clippers more life. The lead, once massive, started shrinking. The home crowd, one of the best in the NBA, smelled blood too, but in a different way. They roared louder with every Clippers bucket, every Nuggets turnover, every defensive stop. The Clippers switched to a zone late, and Denver's offense collapsed. They couldn't hit shots. They couldn't penetrate. The energy shifted completely. With just over a minute left for the first time all night, the Clippers took the lead. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash. The Nuggets had dominated the entire game, and now, with everything slipping, they were staring at elimination. And then, chaos. The Jokic miss. The Aaron Gordon miracle. And somehow, the Nuggets walk away with a win they probably didn't deserve. But that miracle only papers over a much bigger problem. Denver's roster construction, and the philosophical split that created it, is now fully exposed. Head coach Michael Malone and GM Calvin Booth never saw eye to eye on how to build this team. Malone wanted veterans, guys who knew how to win in the playoffs. Booth wanted young, cheap, athletic players who could develop into something more. The result? A roster caught between two timelines. Sure, they have Christian Braun, who looks ready right now. But the rest? Raw, inconsistent, unreliable. Guys like Peyton Watson, Julian Strother, Jalen Pickett, they might be good someday, but today isn't that day. And so Malone, desperate to survive, leans harder and harder on his starters. 40 minutes, 42 minutes, 45 minutes, and it's only round one. That's not sustainable. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City is sitting at home with their feet up, fully rested, fully healthy, waiting. Whoever survives this Nuggets-Clippers war is going to be battered, bruised, and exhausted. And right now, if you're OKC, you're feeling very, very good. The deeper issue is that Denver's entire championship window could be shrinking because of this roster mismanagement. Jokic is still Jokic, a generational player. But how many years does he have of this level? How many playoff runs can he shoulder 45-minute games, playing hero ball, dragging an exhausted team along for the ride? This series should be a warning sign, even if they survive the Clippers, and that's still a massive if. How far can they really go? How do you beat a fresh OKC team? How do you survive deeper rounds against teams like Minnesota or Boston or Milwaukee when your legs are already gone? The miracle tonight saved them, but miracles don't happen twice. There's also the Russell Westbrook question looming. He missed Game 4 with injury, but his role when he returns could define the rest of the series. Without Russ, the Nuggets had better spacing. They flowed better offensively, at least until fatigue set in. Adding Russ back in might clog things up again, but without him, the starters have to play even more minutes, pushing them even closer to the breaking point. Is there a way to balance it? To steal just enough minutes with Russ handling the ball so Jokic and Murray can breathe? Or will Westbrook's return end up sinking them anyway? No easy answers, just more pressure. At the end of the day, this win doesn't change the fundamental truth. The Nuggets are on the edge. One more bad fourth quarter, one more blown lead, and their season will end. Maybe Aaron Gordon bought them another 48 minutes of life. But unless something changes fast, Denver's miracle run won't have a happy ending. And when it does end, whether it's next game, next round, or somehow in the finals, the blame won't just fall on injuries or bad luck. It'll fall on years of flawed roster construction, like stubborn philosophy clashes, and the brutal reality that you can't win championships on miracles alone. Tonight, they survived. Barely. Tomorrow? Tomorrow, the fight starts all over again.